Hello, this is Ishan Shahane from Rev Sports, and what a game of cricket we witnessed. Test cricket is well and truly alive. I have Atharyo and Debashi joining me in the stadium, Shamak and Shubayan with me in the studio. What a fantastic day's play, but heartbreak once again for the Indians. Complete disappointment, I would say. They were in the driving seat in this match and they've given it all away. Shubayan, I'll start with you here. What has gone wrong with that Indian batting lineup once again? Crumbling under pressure.
Uh, I think more than the batting lineup, the way India started with the ball, they were too defensive up front. Okay, I can understand Oli Poop was well settled and you were looking to target the other batters from the other end. But the fielding placement, they kept the long on, long off, kept giving them easy singles. And they did not have a plan B. The bowlers also did not have a plan B when things were not working in their favor. So overall, a very disappointing test match for India. Of course, losing after taking a 190 run lead, and from there to lose a test match, and in that fashion, the body language, the tactics. I think England are deserving winners here. The way they made their comeback in this test.
I think you're so right, Shubayan. And Anthrio, body language was mentioned by Shubayan here. There was a big difference in the body language with the English and the Indians. The England team, you could see, were playing fearless cricket, and the Indians were just struggling to handle that. Their shoulders are drooping. This isn't the way you're supposed to go out there and win a test.
See, body language and all that comes from how you are performing on the field. Body language doesn't come just like that. Body language is reflection of how you are performing. I think
Yeah.
we will talk about the batting collapse in the second innings. Yes, that was one reason why India lost. But I think the primary reason India lost was because of their inability to stop the flow of runs. I can understand you lose because of you can't take wickets, you can't score runs. But because you cannot stop runs, you lose a match. That is not very common. I think yes. I mean, this is not. We saw in the second innings, in both innings actually, England scored at a very fast clip. After they lost 5 wickets for 163 in the second innings, they went up to 440 odd. And those runs came at nearly 5 runs per over, 4.5 runs per over. So this is not one day cricket. There are no field restrictions. It's not that you can't have more than 4 or 5 fielders outside the circle. There is not a narrow wide line outside leg stump. So it could have stopped the flow of runs. I can understand you are not being able to take wickets. That can happen. But just because you couldn't stop the flow of runs, you let a match drift. That is something which would be more disconcerting. I understand that happening once, which happened yesterday. But that same thing repeated this morning. You consider, I mean, let's say 7th wicket partnership, 8th wicket partnership, scoring at 5 runs per over. So that is where I think India lost the match. If you look at the final difference between the teams, some 25 runs or 26 runs, so that's where the match slipped away. Those were the crucial runs, and it was scored at a very fast clip. I thought that was the difference.
Yes, that's true. Devashi, would you agree that India lost the game in the bowling department and they should have restricted England much lesser on in that first half of play?
Absolutely, absolutely, and obviously, the bowlers should take the responsibility. Obviously, when you have that England batting, half of the England batting gone, and then they just put on a big partnership. In no way would you have allowed England to score that 400 runs. Means, and obviously, it was always tricky. 230 chasing 231 on the fourth day wicket when England had 4 spinners. Remember when you consider Joe Root as well. So it was always going to be difficult.
Yes,
And
and
that was
Shomik,
what the case was.
Ollie Pop was dropped not once but twice. So just imagine if he was caught by that first time that he was, dismissed, almost dismissed by Aksar Patel. Unfortunately, he dropped that catch. He was dropped again by KL Rahul. If you think of it in the long run, I mean, if these catches were taken, the England batting lineup could have been restricted much earlier on, and he probably wouldn't have gotten so many runs. So dropping catches on such a big stage, not acceptable again, right?
Me?
Yes, it's for you,
Yeah,
Shomik.
yeah. See, Ishan, catches will be dropped in a game of cricket. I mean, that's part of the game. India dropped a couple of catches, all right. But the fact of the matter is that, as also pointed out, the bowling thing, not being able to contain them when Ollie Pope and also today their 7 wicket partnership and 8 wicket partnership score at 4 runs at 5 runs per over. That is one thing. And what the fact of the matter is that we have to accept the harsh reality. This team, current crop of players, they are not good players against basically flat track bullies. You just go through the sequences. 2017, Steve O'Keefe in Pune. 2018, Moeen Ali at Rose Bowl. Last year, the match of Puneman at Indore. I mean, these players are not when under pressure. Even against pace also, he had seen at Centurion last month. When the team was under pressure, they imploded. This team has a tendency of imploding under pressure, irrespective of pace. They are track bullies. And tactically, this team is very naive. I mean, Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma, Rahul Dravid, I mean, from outside the ropes, doesn't inspire confidence at all, unlike the combination of Ravi Shastri and Virat Kohli. This
Yes.
duo doesn't. You go back to the World Cup final. What Australia did, they packed the leg side, they bowled the leg stump line outside India, failed to score a boundary for around 10 overs. So that when the game changed. So
Yeah.
India didn't have a plan B. Like this test also, the team didn't have a plan B when Ollie Pope took that to them. And when their tail and their England's tail was back. So I this duo does tactically this duo doesn't inspire confidence.
You're so right. I mean, this is massive disappointment. And Atriyo, you're at the moment outside the stadium alongside Devashish. What's the atmosphere like? Because this must be, just massive heartbreak. This is the first time India has lost a test after getting a 100+ lead. So it's just, very disappointing and strange to see, as a matter of fact. So what is the atmosphere outside the stadium?
See, people started leaving the stadium say at around say 4 o'clock or even before that because they knew that is not going to happen. I mean, yeah, Ashwin and Bharat prevented the total collapse for some time. But after the fall of the seventh wicket, it was known that India is not going to make it. So the Indian fans started leaving the stadium. Surprisingly, we have been standing here for about an hour or so, and we have not seen even one Englishman leave the stadium yet. Not even one. There are about 20,000, 10,000 of them inside over there. So they are inside to celebrate their team's victory. While Indians, we can see Indian fans, there are scores of them are leaving the stadium. They started doing it long time back with sorry faces. They are obviously they are very disappointed. They expected India to win or at least put up a better fight, and they are very dejected. Of course, what else can it be?
Shubhain, tell me honestly, when the Indians went out to bat, did you expect them bundling under pressure like this? And especially Shubman Gill once again has not performed. So now the pressure is just piling up. I know we've already discussed him earlier, but again after this performance, this raises some serious concerns.
I think again, like in the first innings, the second innings also, nobody converted their starts. Rohit scored 39, a few others scored 20s and 17s and 18s, but nobody really converted even into a half century. So that was something which was missing from India's batting in this Test match. Even in the first innings, whoever scored 80s could not convert into hundreds, and we saw three instances of them. But in this innings, not only Shubman Gill or Shreyas Iyer, but the entire batting department, I think they went into a shell. They were defensive. They were too defensive. They were not rotating the strike much. They were not looking to score the boundaries. So even when there were a couple of balls to hit, a couple of full tosses by Tom Hartley, they were not looking to go after him, even in the poor delivery. So overall, if you don't rotate the strikes, if you play too many dot balls, if you don't score boundaries, then on a day four pitch in India, I think any batting team will struggle if they don't go after runs. So that's what happened with the Indian team in this inning.
I think yes, lack of intent really caused all the problems. Devashish Hansar Patel was brought on early to bat to counter-attack the spin. That obviously did not work out. Do you think that was a smart move?
Yeah, I would say to some extent, obviously, with the left arm spinner bowling and getting that getting the turn, perhaps just to unsettle them, just to unsettle the English spinners, and he did good until the time he got out. He was looking good. He was trying to score singles, taking runs, and so he looked a lot more positive. But
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Shomik,
he looked a lot more positive after. Yeah.
yes, yes. Shomik, Tom Hartley started off, like in the first innings, he actually struggled, but he's come back really strong. He's turned the game, and he's actually been a match winner here. Your thoughts on his performances, and what do you think he has in store for the future for Indian cricket? Future, I guess. You.
Massive credit to him. Bigger credit to Ben Stokes, who stood by him. I mean, even he was getting yanked in the first innings by SC Jeshmal. Stokes backed at the beginning. And he was rewarded. And once he got those couple of wickets, and those were basically Republic Day gifts from Shubman Gill and KL Rahul. But once he got those wickets, and see, spinners, they overs under their belt. So first innings, they look at the team composition of this England team. Three frontline spinners played, and between them they had 36 test matches. Out of that, Jack Leach played 25 tests. And played just one test. And Tom Hartley was the debutant. And Jack Leach basically virtually bowled on one leg in the 15th because he badly jarred his knees in the field. So that bowling unit ran through an Indian batting lineup in Indian conditions, and Tom Hartley leading the charge. That's a massive achievement, but that also shows the Indian batting in very, very poor light.
Yeah, that's so true. I think there's some fantastic bowling, but some very poor batting as well. There was an injury scare today. Arthur Jadeja obviously was limping when he walked off. Is that a worry?
It's too early to say. Actually, I mean, we haven't heard it. Hasn't been any communication from the team on this yet. It looked bad when we saw those visuals of him limping in, but he bowled, so I guess it's not that bad.
All right, okay. So I think there is hope for him in the next test. Shubham, would you agree with that, or do you think they might look to rest him because it's a long series?
And it depends. It depends on the nature of the injury. If it's just a strain, then I think they will be fine. He will be fine after a couple of session of massage before the second test. But there is not a lot of days left. The second test starts on 2nd of February, so he will need to recover very quickly. If not, then we might see Kuldeep Yadav. We have a replacement in Kuldeep, a backup in Kuldeep Yadav in the test squad. So, but it depends. If Jadeja misses out due to injury, then it will be a huge blow because right now he's the best all-rounder in world cricket.
And would you have any thoughts on Rohit Sharma's captaincy? If you notice Ben Stokes' captaincy, it was a mixture of defensive and attacking captaincy. So your thoughts on that, Shubham? Do you think Rohit Sharma should have captained in a better way? Shubham, is that? Yeah.
Sorry, can you
Do you
come
think
again?
Rohit Sharma should have captained the team in a better way? Do you think
Oh,
as a captain?
yeah, but I think there's a lot of division on this particular topic on social media. People are not happy with how Rohit, especially led India in on day 4. The fielding setup, especially in the early hour, was very defensive. And look at the plain statistic, India lost only two test matches since from 2014 to 2022. And in the last 3 tests, in the last 3 home tests, they have already lost two of them, one against Australia, one now against England. So there's a lot of opinion around how Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma are taking care of this team. But it's just one match in this series. It's a 5 test series. We need to rally around. The fans need to rally around the Indian team, and when they go to Hyderabad, they will need the support of the fans as well. But yes, right now, Rohit, Dravid, since they have taken over the helm from Ravi Shastri, Virat Kohli era, things like it has gone right in few places, but they have not crossed the ultimate mark, or they have not reached the peak which they were expecting to reach in the last few months. So yes, things are not rosy at the moment, but of course, this is a long series. There's still plenty of time for India to come back and win this one.
Yes, it's a long series and anything can happen. Devashish, once again, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, would you expect more out of them? KL Rahul was set in between. He couldn't capitalize. So, what went wrong with his innings there? Devashish, are you around?
Can you
Atru, do you
can you
want to
please
take
come back to
that?
me, please, once again?
Yeah. So KL Rahul was looking set in the middle. Unfortunately, he couldn't capitalize. So how much do you think that has hurt them? From an experienced player, you want someone like KL Rahul to perform when the team needs him the most. Can you hear me?
On KL Rahul's batting,
KL Rahul's batting. I think Atru, do you want to take that? I think there's
Yeah.
an audio.
See, yeah, I heard the question. Now the thing is that yes, in the second innings, the manner in which he got out looked a little. It's not wasn't very good. Wasn't a very good sight. He went to the back foot and tried to play him on the legs, work him on the leg side. Ball probably kept a bit low. And that's where I think India lost the match. That was India's biggest hope. And I think when Rahul got out, I got a feeling that now it's match over.
Yeah.
But at the same time, let us not be too harsh on somebody who scored a fantastic, who played a very good innings in the first time. In the first time, the first 86 was possibly the best innings of the match before Oli Pope played that blinder. So let's not be too harsh on Rahul, because let's give him some time. In the last 4 or 5 innings that he has played, 2 of them have been very good in completely different conditions, in completely different attacks. So it's not to be too harsh on him, I would say. I think everybody has to take responsibility for this, Rahul included.
Fair enough, yes. Then Shomit, we have a question from
If I
Raja Raman. Yes, Shomit.
see, Ishan, fact of the matter is that if you look at the team composition, it will tell you that team management probably doesn't have too much faith in this batting lineup. That's why you are picking Akshar Patel over Kuldeep Yadav, who is a proven wicket taker, right? And if you have the wrist spin of Kuldeep Yadav against someone like Oli Pope or Ball, which is innovative, you are having a serious wicket taking option. Akshar Patel is a bowler for buntons, for rank raging turners. Not this was a slow turner. So when you are first of all when you are taking Akshar Patel and number 9, mind you, over a proven wicket taker, that means you are not too sure about your batting line. And more so in the absence of Virat Kohli. You are not too sure. So I'm not. And then again, we have to see if Indian game management makes a good selection or and brings back Kuldeep to the fold in the next game. And also in terms of negative mindset, once Kohli got out, you saw how the scoring rate dropped. Yesterday, when Stones got out, England upped their scoring rate totally, and India's scoring rate dropped drastically. That's the negative mindset. That's negative mindset of pressure.
We have one question from Raja Raman here, who's actually spoken about Kuldeep Yadav. Atri, why don't you take this? How much did India miss Kuldeep Yadav?
In hindsight, yes. In hindsight, you did miss him, because he's a as we all discussed, as we all know, there is a proven wicket taker on any kind of a wicket, and he's in form also. Yes, India did miss him, but I have something to add here. That once you have decided that this is going to be our 11, there are no ifs and buts. In sports, there is no room for hindsight. In hindsight, James Anderson could have taken 8 wickets over here. Is England talking about that? So there is no room for hindsight over here. Once you have chosen your 11, you have to show faith in them and use them judiciously. So that's where, India thought that under the circumstances, Akshar would be a better bet than Kuldeep. So maybe in the next match, there will be a thought revision. But so let's not read too much into what could have been. I mean, if
Yes,
had X been there, had Kapil Dev been there, it could have been very different, right?
absolutely.
So let's not talk about
Possibly to the
those things,
11th.
hypothetically.
Yes. Before we wrap up, Shubhan, there's one last question which I would like you to answer. There's a fan out here who's disappointed with the Indian batting, and he complains that can't our players play spin, on a subcontinent wicket. So, what do you have to tell this fan?
I think I completely agree with what's his name, Anit Sadhu. I completely agree with this part is that the modern day Indian players are not that great player of spin bowling. On day three, on day four, on day five, subcontinent pitches they have always struggled. And I kept out this particular stat for this question only. India's 41 last 41 test wins had 3.7 degree of turn, average turn of 3.7 degree. India's five test losses had an average degree of 4.3 degree, and this test match it was 4.2 degree an average. So the more the ball is turning, the more struggle the Indian batters are having. So if the Indian team management wants to dish out a rank turner in Vizag, I can completely agree. They want to do that. They want to kill in England with their own thing. But it can be counterproductive also. It can go against the Indian team also because we have seen now that the Indian batters, Shubman Gill playing with hard hands, KL Rahul missing a simple off spin. The other batters also, Shreyas Iyer struggling against spin, which is a rare occasion. I will repeat again. It's all about not going into the shell now. That India have lost, and India have lost the first match of a long series in the past as well, where they have made a good comeback. But so far, if you look at the statistic, if you look at how the players played out there, they are really struggling against spinners. Yes, Devashish.
Would just like to all this talk about Indian batting means obviously it is clearly distinct that the absence of Virat Kohli is prominent. Means obviously
Yeah,
Virat Kohli, the
huge.
batter at number four, means that again opens up the debate that did we have a suitable replacement for Virat at number four? The answer is simple: no, we don't have. We don't have a number four batter in Test cricket as far as 5 day format is concerned because Virat's stats proves itself. So I think we hope that he comes back to the side in the third test. And obviously, talking about the spinners, means the Indian batters, their lack of playing the spinners. Yes, it is really surprising. That means obviously India has produced such great batters over the years when it comes to spin bowling, and someone like a Rahul Dravid, who we all know was a great batter, but then it's a really baffling that. And the preparation also, I would like to take you back to the preparations. Obviously, before this test
Mhm.
match, there's so many spinners were there. It is really baffling. In fact, the focus was on playing spin, and I won't be surprised if they again have a rank turner in Vizag for the second test. And they will be playing into the hands of England because now England's chief will should be up because with the likes of Hartley now performing. I would say that India have a lot of catching to do.
Yeah, they
And
do.
they have a
So,
Shoaib Bashir who is coming in for the second test also, Devashish.
I don't see India make England will be unchanged. I would say they would love to keep the winning trend, but definitely India will be making few changes. If I am not surprised, because someone like a Rajat Patidar might well be in contention to get a place.
Yeah,
I thought
India
we
will.
would see a 41-year-old young James Anderson in Vizag
oh, that would be interesting to watch. And he's nearing his 700 wicket haul
with
as
the
well.
reverse,
So,
yeah, with the
uh,
reverse swing in play. I think he can be a handful.
I guess we can only wait and watch. But it's been a
And he can bowl
disappointing.
a bit of left arm off spin also.
Yeah, so
James
we can
Anderson
expect
can bowl a bit
both.
of left arm off spin also. So yeah, that would be interesting.
Yes, yeah. Well, that sums it up. It's been a disappointing day of cricket, but I think all of us can hope for a better fight in the second test. Let's hope for that, and let's see if the changes we suggested are actually implicated and if Jimmy Anderson is playing in that England test or not. Until then, thank you all for joining, and thank you so much for our viewers as well. We'll catch you all on the second test. Thank you.
Kohli.
Missing Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli.
What,
Only the X factor mixing.
but what according to you is the main reason for the loss?
Missing of Virat Kohli.
Missing of Virat Kohli.
Fully disappointed. We were quite hopeful, and we didn't hope that India would lose this badly.
Obviously chasing 230, 231 to win, and then to
And when we had almost 1.5 days to defend ourselves and just, chase a very easy target. I think it was a little tricky target, but India was nowhere there.
To be frankly speaking, we thought that it's easy going match for India, but by hands, they have given up the match to the opponents England. That's what I can say. Because when the first innings, the way we put up and what somewhere around like 190 runs lead, which we have took, and then again they put up the show and they gave us a lead somewhere around 230, and the target they given us like 231. I thought that we could win the match. I mean, the first innings, the kind of play, what we have done and what we have shown, I thought we would be winning the match very easily. But I didn't expect it. I was very disappointed. That's the reason, like, I left in between.
oh, ma'am, you also very disappointed with the
Yeah,
result?
yeah, absolutely.
But did India miss Virat Kohli? Means obviously
200%. Sorry, if there is like no endpoint for the numbers, infinity or n number of something like what we said in number system, -2 plus infinity 0.